does one mitzvah, and the force of tomorrow will inherit the land, the life of the world to come. These are the things in this world. In our Mishnah, good is done for him, presumably in this world, and he inherits the land, presumably the life of the world to come. And this is a general rule, that if you say that Rabbi Yehuda says anybody does one mitzvah more than 50%, you get this mikvah from this is a general rule, the one of these two forward mitzvahs, even one of them done is sufficient to earn the portion of the world to come. Even if he hasn't approved, he would be a situation where a majority would be sin. So he says, no, that's not so. The Bible says, Loma, to say to you, it would overweigh it. Harder, it's talking about where it has merit, and there is a monk that has the Elu. One of these two forces, type, Machras is a cup. It would overweigh the balance. The cup is like a cup. The cup. The Elu having Rubus as though there were a majority merit, even though it's only 50%. Because there's one of those two mitzvahs among the 50%. And we would not have to come to the extra mitzvah that our mission is making. If you lay a chadam mahani, but if there is not in there one of these two things, then you do require an extra mitzvah to overweigh the next one. Okay? And then he says, but how can you say that anybody does one mitzvah, you have to be good for him? We have a minor that says, Miriam law. Bad is done to him. Here in this world, or not koso, to clean him out. Now, and also from his sin, he eats of char showing that he gets the entire reward for the few things that he may have done good. And then they give him all the good and low char mitzvah. You pay him the reward of his life cargo in order to bother him and push him to hell. Masnitin, our Mishnah, the Katanim makes even Marian, that we say when we do good and we do bad, we're making for him a good day and a bad day. That does one extra mitzvah. So now it's the majority meritorious. Olam Hazeh, we're preparing for him in this world Yom Tov, a good day. They're paying him off now for his sins. And this is the preparation of a Yom Tov for the world to come. The portion of Reuben, and in the case of sins are majority of his actions, the Katonim Merian laws, we say that we do bad to him, has monas Yom Beach, that we're doing for him a preparation of a bad day. That we're paying to him, God is paying to him the reward of the mitzvahs now, or here, in order to prepare for him a bad day. Rabbi says, Olam all the time to the Amrin Miyakora, like we said before. Keeping low, we do good for him, the Schar Peiros, by giving him the reward of the Schar Peiros. We do a reward for him with Schar Peiros, but the reward of the minor reward, and the principal reward will continue to exist for Olam Haba. This mission is called, and we say we do bad to him, Rabbi Yaakov, even though he's basically a tzaddik, he's still bad. Because he holds, he's amazing through because you can't find any mitzvah that has a reward attached to it that doesn't have Chiyah Hameitim hanging on to it. Keep it over aim, can't have Chiyah Olam Haba waiting for the people to come. Only mitzvahs that have it.
But I thought all mitzvahs were the same.
What?
Because otherwise, Yaakov's saying that all...
To say that you'll have
length of days.
So the length of days.
There is and that giving of that reward, those two mitzvahs that are enumerated, and keep it of in. That the reward of giving a reward is only in all. These two mitzvahs, these are special. We're not enumerating.
But there's no reward for the one.
No. He says there's no reward for a tzaddik in Olam Hazeh.
My question is saying that how there's no other mitzvah.
According to the Marshal, it's shot.
So that is then that would mean that all the people are supposed to be in the world to come.
Not necessarily. That's not the
Where would
problem.
you get the reward then?
We're talking about the two that are enumerated. The reward is enumerated by their side. If
Reward here, and you don't have it there.
it doesn't mention, we don't know. We're talking about
But
the
if
mitzvahs.
we're-
Yaakov says, among the mitzvahs that we have a reward mentioned, and since it only happens to be two, both of them agree that they mentioned that you can get a reward in the Olam Haba. Don't make it bigger than this. Perhaps it was not so. Halacha is only a theoretical halacha, never really came to Mitzvah. Yira Dover Azolam. This matter never occurred at all, forever, but it must mean that it broadens his days and his years in this world. Maybe this never occurred, this action, this type of action, that at the time he's doing a mitzvah, the Shliach HaKhan, at the same time, the Kibbutz Aim, that he should die. So he says, no, he saw such an act. Also Shah brought at that time, he was thinking of an Aveira, doing an Aveira, and his heart was not directed towards heaven. That's why I learned Pshat. Of course, also there's Yerushalmi. But even from Rashi, I learned Pshat. His heart was not to heaven at that particular time, presumably applying that all other times his heart was towards the direction of heaven. So therefore, when I say he's got to have a track record, and the Yerushalmi brings a posik, the same Inyan, it brings a posik that says, each other one to his other, we're talking about a person that has a basic ethic.
So, when the Gemara speaks here, is acting as if it doesn't know what it's going to say later
No,
on?
we ordinarily, we have a general statement. Are we talking about wicked types? We're always assuming that a Jew is basically desirous of doing the will of God.
You're saying that he's thinking about it?
No, this particular time, Lohel mind at that particular moment. But ordinarily, he would have
He is thinking. The kasha is that when it says...
Umeshani, he answers, Makshava Ro. If a person has, that's talking about a Jew, that has a track record of trying to do the Ratzon Hashem, Makshava Ro, a bad intent, a bad kavon, a bad intent, a bad makshava, a bad thought. Ma'isro also, but he still hasn't done an action. Shalom does not go and treat it as though it was an actual action as yet. Or Allah that he didn't have to be punished by stripes, by whipping. But then the Gemara asks the question, but what if he's thinking about Avodah Zarah, where the machshava itself is considered a ma'aser? Kalkush, in order to grab in their hearts, in the intellect, of what is the calling, of worshiping idols. This is what the Posik is talking about.
To do the worship.
Intend to worship. We don't intend to worship.
Passion by people
Yes.
years.
I mean, how can we say the Rabbi when there are those times when he's doing a mitzvah? Anyway, nobody said to God, how can I go? How can I go? Which was cause, even though he is doing the agency of the universe, he is worried, he is fearful. From a stick. They had in ancient times, they tell stories about in the ancient Greek. So the Rashi says, if explained that posik, he thought that perhaps there's no one else to go and add and do like he's going to go, yeah. He hides that in the table?
It is 37. So,
yeah, Rabbi Yaakov is
then he would not have sinned.
Let's go further. Over here, he saw another thing, because a matter of a transgression over Aveira, that he takes upon it reward. There's no greater mitzvah, extra mitzvah than this. This is a very big mitzvah. You can go and control your Yetzer Mizu. There's no greater, more that you'll be able to control your passion. You understand? They told you in economics. The problem is like this. Instead of talking about a situation where a person will say, if all I have to do is not do an Aveira, I can go to sleep and get reward. We're talking about a case where you go one thing going away from that. Okay, fine, let's go through.
David Amela says that in Torah.
I'm sure there is. She asked him, she sought him, he hid himself. And he gathered his strength, his saber, to be strong, to make himself strong, for the desires of his Creator. Omar, my night, when he's offering him the Posam, he says, what difference does this make? Commonly, this matter would never have happened to me happened to me that I got food that is coming. Casey will want us to learn from here that if a person does this, what's that? Or the chick says, he's fit to be also engaged in other averas. Avera, if you have one avera, there are other averas attached to it. A person that does this type of activity is fit that he does other averas. It's not that it's proper, it's just that it's fitting in. The word literally, I give you the oven, so is to roast or cook the thing. The Isha Gadol, she was a great woman. I mean, not great in the sense of it should be Sheen, Ain, well, that's also about Ain is either way it would be tough. It would be impossible to utter. He put it there to that, but he climbed into the. But she answered him, Yodi, if I knew, even Yadati, if I knew, Shekoma Alechem, that the matter is so hard on you, so much, so kind of distasteful, I wouldn't have insisted. I thought he'd like it. Because the fact was already accomplished. It took a basket, the Noshim, I used to go 400 miles away, wherever I was there. I had to run away fast. What caused the whole thing? If I was not so poverty, ignored. Rashi, now I translated that. Now all you have to do is does one good is done to him, marshmallow is the high almond in this world. And he inherits the land, the life of the world to come. Elo's born. These are the things for him in the world to come. In this world, and this is a general rule that if the Buddha says anybody does one mitzvah more than 50%, he gets it like Lani, the one of these twofold reward mitzvahs in the portion of the world to come. I feel all kind of sharing mitzvahs, even if he hasn't fulfilled two. He would be a situation where a majority would say, no, that's not so. The Bible says, what to say to you, it was equally balanced. It would overweigh it. You have to go reward the matzah. It's talking about where it has sins, have merit, feel, and there is among that are merit. Achaz ve'elu, one of these twofold mitzvahs, it would overweigh the balance. The cup is like the cup. Oh, there were a majority, because it's one of those two mitzvahs, and we would not have to come to the extra mitzvah. Mission is mentioning. If you lay but if there is not in there one of these two, you see, then you do require an extra mitzvah to overweigh it. Okay? And then he says, but how can you say that anybody does one mitzvah, you have good for him? We have a mind that says, Miriam, bad is done to him. Not there in this world, or not Kosto, to clean him out. Now, the things that he may have done good. And then they keep him low, that's good for him. You pay him his life's cargo in order to bother him and push him to hell. Masnita, the Katani may kill him Miriam, that we say when we do good and we do bad, now didn't way Yom Tov is according to my this is talking about it was making for him a good day and a bad. Mitzvah that does one extra mitzvah. So now it's a majority meritorious. Shocking low. We're preparing for him in this world a good day. They're paying him now for his sins, and this is a preparation of a Yom Tov for him. For all his sins are majority of his actions. We say that we do bad to him. Has monas Yom Beat that we're doing for him for preparation of a bad day. That we're paying to him, God is paying to him the reward of the mitzvahs now, or here, in order to prepare for him a bad day. Rabbi says, all the time, like we said before. Even though we do good for him, the Schar Peiros, by giving him the reward of the Schar Peiros. The reward for him, it was Schar, but the reward of the minor reward, and the principal reward will continue to exist for Olam Haba. And we say we do bad to him in Olam Haba, even though he's a big outside. He holds he has amazing Tzuya, because you can't find any mitzvah that has a reward and attached to it that doesn't have Chiyas HaMetim hanging onto it.
Meaning all this is hidden. But I thought all this is in the same thing.
What?
Because otherwise, what? Yaakov's saying that all...
These
No,
two
among
mitzvahs
these
say
two.
that you'll have
Length of days.
So the length of days is
Length of-
interpreted as
yeah.
Olam Haba.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
But also Matan Schar, and that giving of that reward, those two mitzvahs that are enumerated, and Kibbut Avim. Schar El Olam Haba, that the reward of giving the reward is only these especially. These especially. We're not in...
That there is no reward for the
No,
reward
you
to
have to
come.
give it up.
Saying that how there is no reward for the mitzvah, yeah.
According to the Shah, when
Okay.
my Shah is Shah.
So if that is, then then that would mean that,
Not necessarily, that's not
where
what we're
would you
talking.
get this from?
We're talking about the two that are enumerated, the reward is enumerated by their side.
Put here, and you don't have it there, where are you gonna get it?
If it doesn't mention it, we don't know when it's going to come. It may come in this world or in the world to come. We don't know. We're talking about
But if
mitzvah.
Yaakov says that you don't have it here,
It says, among the mitzvahs that say that we have a reward mentioned, and since it don't have to be, both of them agree that they mentioned that you can get a reward. Don't make it big. Perhaps it was not so. Halacha is only a theoretical halacha, never really came to Mitzvah. Hold on. This matter never occurred at all, forever, every time. But it must mean that it broadens his days and his years in this world. Maybe this never occurred, this action, this type of action, that at the time he's doing a mitzvah, the Shliach HaKhan, at the same time, the Kibbut Avim, that he could die. So he says, no, he saw such an action. Also, Shah brought at that time, he was thinking of an Avera, doing Mayim, and his heart was not directed towards heaven. That's why I learned Shah. Of course, also there's Yesh. But even from Rashi, his heart was not to heaven at that particular time, presumably implying that all the time his heart was towards directed to heaven. So therefore, when I say he's got to have a track record, and the Yerushalmi brings the posik, in the same Inyan, it brings a posik that says when a Yer Shemaim each other re'eo one to his other, he's talking about it. We're talking about a person that has a basic.
The Gemara says later on.
Yes.
That, so when the Gemara speaks here, is it acting as if it doesn't know what it's going to say later
No,
on?
we ordinarily in the Gemara we have a general statement. Are we talking about wicked type? We're always assuming that a Jew is basically desirous of doing the will of God.
You're saying that he's thinking about it?
No, this particular time, Lohel Mayim, at that particular moment. But ordinarily, he would have the will of God.
Every moment he is thinking.
But Kasha is that when it says,
Forget that. But Umeshani, he answers, if a person has, that's talking about a Jew, that has a track record of trying to do the Ratzon Hashem, machshava ra, a bad intent, a bad kavon, a bad intent, a bad machshava, a bad thought. Ma'asro also, but he still hasn't done an action. Enoch does not go and treat it as though it was an actual action as yet. Lachol said he didn't have to be punished by stripes, by being by whipping. But then the Gemara asks the question, but what if he's thinking about Avodah Zarah, where the machshava itself is considered a machshava? Talkush, in order to grab in their heart, in the heart, in the intellect, hurry of worshiping idols, and this is what the Posik is telling, presumably is talking about.
To do the worship.
Word worship. We
There
intend to
was a
worship.
passion by people
Yeah.
years
I mean, how can we say Yaakov saw in action when a person is protected at those times when he's doing a mitzvah? Nobody said to God, how can I go? How can I go? Up the Alpha God, which will cost the God, the fetus of the universe. He is worried. He is fearful. Mahazika, the Kiviyah, source of damage. Ancient times, they tell stories about in the ancient when a messenger would bring a bad message, they would kill the messenger. In the world to come, he would not have sinned. He went on to go and add and do a lot of evil.
well, look at this.
Yeah, it depends on the
I
another
looked it
one.
up. I looked it up.
He has it in the paper.
saying that if
Don't look at English, don't look at Aramaic. Practice smile. What?
if Abba had agreed with Rabbi Yaakov, then he would not have sinned.
Let's go further. About here, he saw another thing, with another thing. Al-Khazir dragging that tongue, a matter of a transgression Homer that we're talking about. Noto allows car, If a person comes into a person's hand and means it go over and doesn't transfer the extra mitzvah in it, this is a very big mitzvah. It's going to control your
Throw it, but then do a mitzvah.
There's no greater, more mitzvah than this, that you be able to control your passion. This is a negative. It's like this. It's got to be talking about a situation where a person will say, if all I have here, I can go to sleep again, and you do work. Both things are necessary. This is the one thing going away from that. Okay, fine, let's go for it.
David Amela says that in Philip.
Or immoral sexual conduct. What does it mean? How does it to subdue? He's out there to be strong, to make himself strong, for the desires of his trade. What difference does it make? Commonly, this matter would never have happened to me. There's only happened to me that I got food that is coming. I should learn from here that if a person does this, what's that? Abo Arami, he's fit for food that is coming. A person in forbidden sexual intercourse, he's fit to that great an Aveira. It's fitting Aveira. If you have one Aveira, there are other Aveiras attached to it. No, it gets to a point where a person that does this type of activity is fit that he does other Aveiras. It's not that it's proper, it's just that it's fit in. I give you the little an oven. Also Arami, to roast or cook the thing. She was a great woman, I mean not great. Now the next word is also possible. It's all right. Or is Aramaic. Yes, either way would be possible. It's impossible, it would be impossible to free himself from her, for her hand to kill her. He had the power of life and death over him. If he put it to that's inside. So he climbed into the oven, and then she had Nafabah, falls into here. Words he called him, but she answered him too. But the matter, then we were talking about the he was selling the kuli. What's the kuli? Selling mostly women would put in. So he says, what caused the whole thing? Was it not my poverty? If I was not so tempted.